Wanted to bring you an update on a story that I'm very excited about, and I think you are as well, which is the Senate primary in Kentucky. Big contest between Amy McGrath, who was the big dollar pick of Chuck Schumer and the DSCC, recruited into this race, very centrist, corporatist type of candidate, raised $41 million, much of it from out of state and around the country, versus Charles Booker. He is a state representative, youngest African-American lawmaker in the state, running this sort of grassroots populist insurgent campaign endorsed by Bernie Sanders, AOC, Elizabeth Warren, and others. So Charles Booker, as you know, surged right at the end of this race. He really met the moment in terms of the protests that are unfolding around the country, but in particular in Louisville, his hometown. This is where Breonna Taylor was, of course, killed by police officers. So we have new election results, and I want to caution, this is still very early because much of the vote coming in Kentucky is from mail-in ballots. We won't know what those say until June 30th. But as of now, Charles Booker has taken the lead in that state. So he has 43.5% of the vote. Amy McGrath is at 40%. Charles has about a 2,500 vote lead on McGrath at this point. And essentially what happened, McGrath did have the edge on election night, but none of the results had come in from Jefferson County. That's where Louisville is. That's Charles Booker's hometown. It's also where the bulk of the population, it's the biggest population center in the state. So that night, his campaign had indicated to myself and some others that they expected that vote to come in from Jefferson County overwhelmingly in Charles Booker's favor, 80% to 16% for Amy McGrath. That is exactly what those numbers came in as, and that's what allowed Charles to take the lead here. Okay, so what is still outstanding? There are so far county clerks in the state of Kentucky have received somewhere around 696,000 mail-in ballots. Okay, that is overwhelmingly more than what has already been counted in terms of in-person election day voting. So like I said, those trends in those ballots could be very different. Charles Booker really surged at the end. So if the ballots were turned in early, they may favor McGrath more. However, if the trends in Louisville look anything in those mail-in ballots like they did on Election Day, then Charles Booker is going to be the Democratic nominee. So really exciting race there. The dynamics there, obviously very fascinating. Looking good, trending Charles' way, while there is still a lot outstanding. And bottom line is we are not going to know the final results of this race until June 30th, but we will, of course, continue to keep you updated, and we'll have more Rising for you after this.